Well, hello. Thanks for joining me today as we discover Alaska. Viking's itinerary, Alaska and the Inside Passage, is such a popular 11-day journey from Vancouver to Anchorage or the reverse. And we're going to take you through all the wonderful ports of call along the way. I'm Carol Shaddix with Imagine Going There Travel. We are your Viking cruise experts. This is all we do. So we're excited to share with you what there is to love about Viking and what you'll get to see on this wonderful itinerary. I'm going to turn my camera off so you'll be able to see all these great images. And the first thing we want to talk about is to thank all the wonderful people who have voted Viking once again to be #1 small ship cruise line. Ever since their first ship hit the water in 2015, they have been #1 ever since. And it's in great degree because of how great Viking takes care of their guests and the great ports of call that they get to see along the way. And we have over 403 ports of call. So if there is something on your bucket list that you still have yet to see, contact us, Carol@ImagineGoingThere.com, because Viking likely sails there and we'll be happy to get the itineraries that best fit your wish list. But today, of course, we're going to talk about Alaska and the Inside Passage. 11 days, 7 guided tours going to 2 countries, the US and Canada, of course, and what amazing things you have to look forward to on this journey. Now, a lot of people view Alaska as the traditional way to sail Alaska is going to be the 7-day journey. But of course, Viking's going to extend that to give you more time to feel like a local, to be able to really enjoy the beautiful things you'll see in each port of call. And this is what our itinerary looks like. You'll see we only have 2 days of scenic cruising, and one of those is going to be those incredible glaciers on day 8. So when people talk about Alaska, you're usually thinking about it as that little place on, the Weather Channel where they have it off on the coast of Hawaii, or, TV has it just as a small little state. But it's actually, when it's superimposed over the United States, you can see how vast it really is. So we want you to take your time. We want you to be able to explore Alaska at a great pace and really give you a lot of time in each port, really get a great glacier experience. And of course, this is what it's all about. We're going to start with our presentation today, starting from Vancouver up to Seward. And you'll see we've got sailing in the Inside Passage here, and then we'll be going up to all the way up to Skagway, and then up to Yakutat Bay where those glaciers are as well, and then ending in Seward where we overnight here. So plenty of time to really be able to explore and see all there is to offer on this journey. We're going to start in Vancouver, and I really encourage you, if you can, to get a pre-extension here. Staying here for 2 days will not only allow you to see this beautiful city, which has incredible parks, beautiful flowers, incredible waterfront that's just very charming, and you'll be able to do some shopping and enjoy that. It's also going to really help you manage your flights, because you need to get into Vancouver to get on the ship the same day, usually by 2. And of course, from East Coast gateways, that can be a little tricky. So encourage you to spend some extra time in Vancouver, and that'll give you a lot of advantages, not only seeing this beautiful city, but making it easier for your flights as well. So from there, we're going to actually start sailing up the Inside Passage toward Ketchikan, and you are going to have time to just listen to some great lectures and wildlife enthusiasts who are going to talk about what you're going to be able to see, get acquainted with this incredible ship, which has spas and wonderful food, great reading areas, just an opportunity to explore, feel comfortable with your home away from home for the next 11 days, but also enjoy some incredible scenery as we sail through this area. We are actually going to be sailing into the Tongass National Park, which is a beautiful area that has 17 million acres of national park land. It's really one of the largest in the country. And so you're going to have such pristine views. You'll see great wildlife right off the bat, maybe eagles or whales. You'll see a lot of fishermen boats, as you see here, spending the day cruising the Inside Passage, earning a living that way. And then one of the great things that often you don't hear people talk about, but you'll come back with some amazing photos, and those are the sunsets. This is one from a colleague of mine. There's several actually that we have in this presentation that he took with his iPhone, and he said they are stunning. It's just amazing how beautiful the sunsets are in this area, like an undiscovered part of the world. It feels otherworldly here. So be sure to always have your camera and binoculars with you, because you never know what you're going to see or want to take a photo of. Now, in the deluxe veranda categories and above, there are binoculars for your use, but I always encourage you to bring an extra pair anyway. You can both use them, and that way you're not missing any incredible sights along the way. The first day is going to be our stop in Ketchikan here. So there's a saying that says you can't catch a tan in Ketchikan, and the reason is it's the second wettest city in all the United States. So if you get a beautiful day, that's great, but you'll be able to have some wonderful experiences here, from shopping. There's some wonderful boutique shops that are not tourist traps, some great restaurants. When the salmon are running here on Creek Street, you will just see them by the thousands here. It's just amazing. They're coming to spawn, and they'll just be jamming the waterways there. And of course, the more fish there are, the more wildlife there is as well. So getting a chance to see those other bears, etc., they are feeding on the salmon. And of course, the more salmon there are, the more wildlife you'll get an opportunity to see. But there's lots to do here on this famous historic district. You'll be able to do some shopping here, but if you turn around from here, almost literally, you're going to see the misty fjords. And I'd encourage you to get on a smaller boat, really navigate through these deep fjords. It's called the Yosemite of the North, basically for its similar geology, but it's going to be beautiful. And if you can do some flight seeing here, that would be wonderful. There's also opportunity to do some bear watching, which you'll have the chance to do that in several locations on this journey, but you can do it by float plane, and then it's a little short hike, or you can motor coach to a specific area on one of the islands. They'll have a raised platform. You'll be able to view over a river area where the bears go and catch the fish. So depending on how much fish there are is dependent upon how much there you'll see in the way of wildlife. But it's a great day, but don't feel like you have to do everything the first day. We'll have lots of opportunities for that type of thing later as well. When we are in Ketchikan, our included tour is going to be a village to visit some totem poles and learn about the history, how they're carved, what the different symbols mean. And this is an important day to just learn a little bit about the Tlingit culture. And if you want a privileged access experience and go a little deeper, we have something called privileged access, which is basically exclusive experiences that Viking tailors for their guests to go deeper. And the Saxman Native Village is one of those opportunities. Will take us deep into the Tlingit history. You'll be able to interact with them, learn about their clan house they don, their colorful robes. All of these robes tell a different story, and you'll get to see their dance. If you don't want to be part of the dance, don't sit up front, because they will pull you into it and want you to celebrate with them. Then you'll go to the carving shed, and you're going to hear their stories all about these totem poles, what they mean, what the hierarchy is of the design, and then learn from the apprentices, because you're going to be watching native carvers teach them the tools of the trade. So a special day here in Ketchikan with lots of opportunities and things to do. Then day 4, we're going to go to Sitka, and Mount Edgecombe is what's in the background there. So just imagine these incredible pictures that you're going to have of this wildlife and the mountains in the background. If you want to do some fishing, for instance, deep sea fishing, this would be a good place to do that, to fish for salmon. You can fish for it, and when you catch it, they will send it back to you. No, don't even have to worry about getting it back home. You can do some trout fishing as well, but this is where you can really see the Russian influence, because Sitka was originally the outpost of the Russian territory back in 1799. It was transferred to the U.S. in 1867. And so we have a historic park there known as Totem Park, where you'll see 18 totem poles. But you're also going to see the site where the battle between the Tlingit and the Russians took place here in Sitka. But this is a great place to experience wildlife and do a lot of wildlife excursions. So we have several. There are a lot of whales that travel through these fjords, so you'll get a chance to maybe see humpback whales or the sea otters, as you see here. We'll be traveling in the little straits and narrows around the island, so there are opportunities to see more wildlife, and that's what those smaller ship opportunities will allow you to do. You can also do an excursion where it'll end with a lunch, and you'll have some incredible Alaska king crab and salmon, maybe some prime rib with homemade sides. So Viking does a great job with their shore excursions, and this is a great day for that, to see wildlife. Of course, another opportunity to see some bears. You'll see some local sanctuaries where they take care of these orphaned or injured animals until they can be released back in the wild. And one of these is called the Fortress of the Bear, and they have a viewing platform where you can feed them, you can learn all about them. This one is like asking to throw food, like it reminds you of Mardi Gras, but a really nice day of wildlife here and spending time learning about history in Sitka. So day 5 is going to take us to Juneau, and this is going to be a challenging day just because you have so many great options of what to do, great shore experiences to choose from. A tip would be to wake up early because in Juneau, because you're going to be sailing into Juneau from the Gastineau Channel, and it's going to be a beautiful opportunity to be on your veranda and see this incredible scenery as you sail up to this area. Juneau is the only capital of that's not accessible by car. You have to get here by plane or boat, and of course, it is the capital of Alaska as well. And you can't do it all here. As I mentioned, you are going to have to choose, but there's an included experience that we do. That's a tour of the city. We go to the newly renovated Alaska State Museum and take you out to the Tongass National Forest here. There's a rainforest garden that's also very popular. There is a tram that you can take all the way up to the top and just get some incredible views as well. But it's really about the optional experiences. And so one of the things that I'd recommend is try to do a flight seeing opportunity when you can, because of course, like I mentioned, you'll be seeing the coastline, which is incredible, but you also want to be able to get above and into the interior as well. And so much that you'll be able to see once you get up in the air. So you'll get to see Mendenhall Glacier. That's what you see here. It's about 13 miles long now. There's a beautiful waterfall you can't really see in this picture that's off to the right, but there's so many options, either Mendenhall Glacier and something else. For instance, you could be going whale watching or helicopter up the glacier or doing a dog sled ride or something. Just lots of options, and it's about 15-minute ride outside of Juneau where our ship docks. And this is also just a popular area for whale watching. So if you want to board a sightseeing vessel, you're going to go into the bay, and the whales can just be here by the numbers, either a smaller research vessel or one that holds up to 100 people. But it's definitely a few different choices for you, and it's all about seeing nature at its finest. I don't know if you've ever heard about bubble net feeding, but this is one that one of my colleagues took a photo of, and it's the humpbacks literally coming out of the water to feed. And it's when the whales basically locate their food source like krill, and they start swimming in a circle very rapidly. And it makes a bubble net around the food, which forces it up to the surface. And then 1, 2, or 3 whales will come and swim in between the ones that are circling. And you'll see how one comes about halfway up the water and then gets the fish and then dives back in and lets someone else take a turn. So very great whale watching here between Juneau and Sitka. And for those that want to go dog sledding, of course, that's what we recommend. This is a great opportunity for that, or see there's a 5 glacier flight seeing opportunity as well. And then day 6 is going to take us into Skagway, and there's a lot of history here. Again, wake up early. You're going to sail into the Chilkat Inlet, and at the very head of the Chilkat Inlet is the most northwestern city of the Inside Passage, and that's Skagway. And it's kind of a twin sister city. Further south is Haines, and you can do shore excursions in either Skagway or Haines. But the thing about Skagway, it's all about the famous White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad. The population of Skagway is just a little over 1,000 people, and it really feels like you are just stepping back in time. This was actually the jumping off point to the Yukon Gold Rush of 1898. So you're going to find wooden boardwalks here and false storefronts. You're going to have a great overview of the city, which includes an included tour, and it's also going to give you a lot of the history. But this is, as I mentioned, the White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad. You'll learn all about its history as the steam blower #1, which actually has the ability to blow as much as 30 feet of snowdrifts that could be covering the track at any specific time. It's been designated an International Historic Civil Engineering Landmark back in 1994. And this is an honor that's only shared with 36 other landmarks, such as the Eiffel Tower and the Statue of Liberty and the Panama Canal. So something to see, especially if you are a train lover. You're going to want to do one of the many options that you can do on this Yukon Route Railroad. We've got some great opportunities of things that you can do outside as well. For instance, we can do some canoeing on Chilkoot Lake. You can do the Wilds of Alaska by ATV. You could do rock climbing, rappelling. This is really going to be one of your favorite spots if you enjoy doing outdoor activities. And then we are going to be in Icy Strait Point on day 7, and beautiful area here. We're going to learn a lot about the rich Native Alaskan history here. This was actually a fishing town that kind of exploded into a logging town. Has a very large Tlingit community here, and you'll understand more about the Native Alaskan history. But this is also another opportunity to do some bear watching. The Spassky River Valley Wildlife and Bear Search is famous for having one of the highest densities of the coastal brown bears per square mile in the world. So this is an opportunity to watch bears in Ketchikan as well as here. You can also do some great whale watching in Icy Strait Point as well. As you can see here, these are, I guess, on maybe a smaller exploration vessel such as this. So they come in all sizes. Some of them are small, like 25. Some will have up to maybe 100 people on them, but the smaller boats allow you to get into those inlets and see what you can see as far as the whales or orcas or wildlife. There is one of those famous photos. You want to be able to take that classic tail fluke of a whale, or maybe even a breach here. Wouldn't that be great for your scrapbook when you came back to be able to talk about all the wildlife you got to see? Now, this is also the area where the cannery has been fully restored. This is how the locals really earned a living from the rich fishing grounds in the area. But it's funny, it brings out the whales. And I had a colleague say that he actually grew up in Alaska and they had a fishing business. And so they would go into this area and throw out these big nets, and they would tighten the nets. And as it got closer, the whales were smart and they figured out those nets mean there's food, and the whales would jump into the nets to get the free dinner. And he said, I think we were the only people in Alaska that actually did not want to see whales because it was impacting our ability to bring our haul in. But of course, lots to see here. One of the highlights, of course, will be day 8, your scenic cruising on Yakutat Bay and Hubbard Glacier. So this is pristine area, very breathtaking. There are several different glaciers here. You've got Tidewater Glacier that you can experience. This is just one of those wow glaciers, though. A lot of people will talk about the Glacier Bay National Park. Marjorie Glacier there is only about 1.5 miles wide. This one is almost 7 miles wide, and the face above it is over 300 feet high. So you're talking about a mammoth wall of ice. with this Hubbard Glacier. As you're sailing in, you're sailing into Yakutat Bay, so have your binoculars because there's going to be perhaps bear sighting opportunities on either side of the ship as you sail in. But this is where it ends, and it ends into something called Disenchantment Bay, which was named after a Spanish explorer who was looking for the Northwest Passage, literally ran into this wall of ice, and known as Hubbard Glacier. And even today, it's steadily advancing and closes off a lot of the tributary fords depending on the time of year. So it's definitely pushing that ice in down from the San Elias Mountains, which are the highest coastal mountain ranges on the earth. So this glacier is about 76 miles long, 600 feet tall, but only about 350 feet of it is available to be seen above the water. But the nice thing is when you are on that Viking ship doing this scenic sailing, you are going to be not 10 or 15 people deep. The ships are small, so you're going to be able to have great views, get some incredible photos, and look at these beautiful hues of ice. In fact, the glaciers are actually more blue on a cloudy day because it said that the ice is so dense that the glacier absorbs all the colors of the spectrum except blue. So that's why these blues are so beautiful and something you'll get to see when you are sailing, and of course, even better on a cloudy day. But of course, always watch for the cute wildlife. It's going to be in surprising places as you sail or on land. And day 9 is going to go into Prince William Sound and into Valdez. And of course, well known for the oil spill from years ago, but it's really still such a beautiful fjord here. It's really a nice walking town. They've got a wonderful museum, but you can get out and see the countryside or take a boat cruise out to this Columbia Glacier. Just stunning. The water is just still as a pond, and something that you will really enjoy getting a chance to explore more, not just in the town of Valdez, but doing some optional excursions. But we have a privileged access experience here that our guests have really enjoyed, and that is remembering old Valdez. So back on Good Friday, actually, 1964, I believe it was, there was such a large earthquake, 9.2 on the Richter scale, that the part of the town actually slid into the sea. Now, there are survivors of that. They actually moved the town about 3 or 4 miles inland, and that's where it is now. But you can go into this old exhibit and learn about that history, talk with those who actually survived it. This is a privileged access experience, but you'll be able to learn a lot of history here. The opportunity, though, to see Alaska by air is something else that you can do here. So as I said before, you won't regret doing an actual flight seeing or helicopter experience to see more of the interior of Alaska. Day 10 takes us to Seward, and now we're getting at the end of our journey, but we do have a full day here. We have a lot of opportunities for you to explore Seward into the evening, and then of course we overnight, so you will be getting off the ship the next day. But you're asking, what is there to do in Seward? Well, there are a lot. If you're not sick of watching whales, this is a great opportunity to go into the Kenai Fjords. It's what Alaskans refer to as their playground and where they go for vacation. We've got several different options here. One that goes as far out as Resurrection Bay for whale watching and an opportunity to watch sea otters. There's also the Seward Marine Life Center. You'll get an opportunity if you'd like to go behind the scenes with privileged access here. We have a great excursion that goes up to Alyeska Resort, which is a beautiful resort that you can get by tram, get some incredible views of Alaska and the town of Seward from there. Of course, you can go dog sledding. This might be a good opportunity to do that, and another flight seeing experience. So a lot of things to do in Seward. And of course, we really encourage you, don't let your trip end just with the cruise itself. See if you can extend it either for the ease of your flights or just to extend and see more of this beautiful land. We talked about Vancouver with 2 nights there. Rocky Mountaineer is a first-class rail journey that we have always packaged with our Viking Alaska, but now we are selling Rocky Mountaineer independently as well, because our guests have just said this is an amazing journey, first class all the way. And that's why we like to partner with companies and suppliers that mirror that Viking experience on land, and Rocky Mountaineer is certainly that. So we have that. We have Anchorage for 2 nights, and then of course Denali and Pristine, Alaska. Similar itineraries. One's 5 and one's 6, a little bit different in what you see on the land portion. But I really encourage you to book these extensions first and then build the cruise around that, because we are very, very limited and they go so quickly. So if you're looking for extensions, please give me a call, Carol at imaginegoingthere.com, or 770-557-5586. That's my cell. I'll be happy to look that for you. I have been able to find them, but it is just a needle in a haystack a lot of times, and don't want you to miss seeing the beautiful interior of Alaska if possible. Now with Viking, everything's included. And after this, we're going to go through a ship and stateroom tour. But for those of you that are trying to compare apples to apples, the value that you get with Viking, first of all, everything is a veranda, all adults only. The chairman says that Viking guests like to travel with their grandchildren. They just don't like traveling with other people's grandchildren. And I think we all have that consensus. So we love having like-minded travelers that we can explore the world with. Viking will give you reduced air plus free transfers to and from the ship as long as your air is purchased with Viking. You're going to get a free shore excursion in every port of call. There are free drinks as well, wine, beer, and soft drinks with your meals. And then you also are going to get specialty teas and coffees available 24/7. We have this remarkable high tea experience every afternoon in the Winter Garden, which is very fun. We've got alternative dining restaurants, but there's no charge for any of the extra restaurants there. Free room service, free access to the spa. You'll just pay for a massage or facial should you want that. But the spa is amazing and a great way to spend an afternoon of scenic sailing. You have laundrettes on board, including soap, so you never have to worry about being nickel and dimed with your trying to do some laundry to get freshened up for the way home or just to make it through the cruise. Plus, you're going to get $100 per person in shipboard credit from our agency. It's our gift for you. And you're going to have us with you every step of the way. We're your personal consultants. You've got our direct phone number to call with any questions. Extra bonuses you might not know to ask for, things that we can do to enhance your trip, and special surprises along the way. We really love helping our clients experience all there is with Viking, and we know how to make it as special as possible. We like to say travel while you can on meaningful trips that are worth your investment. And we really feel like Viking does an amazing job with that. We like partnering with them because they do such an incredible job. And then we are Viking guests ourselves. So we come back and we try to figure out how can we make this journey for our clients even better. And we're personally investing in you having a wonderful time. And it's just a way that you don't have to call into an 800 number, go through all those things. There's one call and we handle it for you, and our team of 9 is looking out for you every step of the way. So things you might want to might need to know about, we want to make sure we help you with those things to think about ahead of time and make sure we enhance your journey with the best possible advice. We're here to help you enjoy the process of seeing the world. And now we're going to take you on a quick tour of these beautiful ships. These are the Viking Ocean ships. As I said, they were built to start in 2015, and they've been building. We have up to 10 ships now, and they're all sister ships. So you never have to worry that one ship is going to have more amenities than the other. One of the things that really sets Viking apart is the things that they don't do. For instance, there are no casinos, no children under 18. You don't have to worry about umbrella drinks, somebody bringing something and trying to upsell you with something you may not want. There's a beverage package you can purchase should you choose to, and that gives you virtually unlimited access to the wine list on the ship and cocktails by the glass. But you don't have to worry about somebody trying to bring and interrupt your relaxing day at sea by trying to sell you a drink that you don't want. No photographers interrupting dinner, trying to keep you from getting off to port. No art auctions, no formal nights or smoking on board. No corkage fees. If you find something you want in a port of call, bring it on board, and the bartender or the waiter at dinner will be happy to uncork that for you. No charge for the use of the laundrette or option entrance fee for the spa. And when you're there getting a massage or facial that you're paying for, they're not going to try to sell you a $90 bottle of potion that you have to have. You have that option to do so when you check out, but you're not going to have your treatment interrupted by a sales pitch. No inside staterooms, no butlers, no charge for those alternative restaurants. And we're going to take you on a beautiful tour of this amazing ship. This is the 3-deck atrium. So this is where you'll enjoy some live music at dinner prior to maybe going into dinner, and you're getting a chance to visit with your friends to talk about your day. You'll see how each of the areas are just designed like a living room. So you can feel like you're having guests at your home and getting a chance to chat and talk about your day. Then we have the Explorer's Lounge. This is a great area to enjoy that scenic sailing. Imagine just sitting here, those foam reindeer skins if it's cold, or looking at the interactive maps and just sailing along in these beautiful fjords and this incredible scenery. If you want exercise, we have a heated pool with a retractable roof. So regardless of what the weather's like outside, you could feel like you're outdoors and getting some exercise and enjoying time with your friends. The infinity pool makes you feel like you're swimming in your destination, a unique aspect of Viking cruises. And then here's this incredible spa. We've got that firewall there. You'll find guests just sitting there enjoying visiting. There's the whirlpool there on the other side of the steps. Getting into the pool is a continuous current, so you can get your laps in and stay active. And of course, we have lots of things you can do in the spa as well. This is a list of our 8 different dining options, no additional charge for any of them. 2 of them, Manfredi's and the Chef's Table, are smaller venues, so you will make reservations for those. But the food is great in all of them, and I think you'll really enjoy all the great different dining venues that are available. Now, there are tricks to choosing the right stateroom, and I want to give you a quick little idea of those. Every stateroom category, as you go up, gets more benefits. So remember, everything's a veranda. There's not a bad stateroom on the ship. So how they actually differentiate in cost is what comes along with it. So veranda 1 and 2 are the entry level categories. Again, they're the same size as the deluxe veranda, but at the deluxe veranda category, which is what I recommend as a minimum, these 6 categories here will give you different placement on the ship, but it gets you earlier access to your stateroom, extra amenities in your stateroom. For instance, in the deluxe veranda, you'll get your mini bar restocked daily. It's complimentary with soft drinks, water, and snacks. You'll get complimentary binoculars in your room, but then you're starting to get earlier access to your shore excursions. And that's the important thing on these trips is each category has a window where the shore excursions open. For deluxe veranda, it's 3 p.m., 67 days prior to departure. If you go up in the penthouse veranda, you get extra things in your stateroom, earlier access than that to your shore excursion. So each category up is going to give you more benefits and more amenities. And I just want to encourage you to think through that, because if that's really important to you to have early access to particular things that you want to see there, then you might want to consider doing a higher category stateroom in order to make sure you have that kind of access. But this is what the entry-level stateroom looks like. Deluxe veranda, 270 square feet, generously sized, beautifully apportioned, plenty of space in the bathrooms. Then as we go up, we have a penthouse junior suite, as you see here. When you have a suite with Viking on their ocean ships, you're going to have a partition that's going to be able to give you privacy. It's a larger stateroom for sure, but it's also giving you that ability to maybe not disturb the person that's sleeping late or getting up earlier. Gives you a private area that you can get away from, but also gives you extra amenities in your room and earlier access to book those shore excursions. Of course, the bathroom is bigger, well appointed with heated towel racks and double vanity sinks. And then we go up from there to the Explorer Suites. And of course, we have chase lounges. These are all forward or aft, different sizes. We can help you with that as you choose which is going to be best for you. But beautiful bathroom. This is the category that has the tubs as well as the owner suite. Everything's a lot larger. And of course, you've got sitting areas and earlier access to book shore excursions. No one books it ahead of you except for the owner suite, which is where our chairman stays when he's on board. And of course, you can see how beautifully appointed this category is. So that is the summary of our Alaska trip, as well as a quick tour of the ship itself. Our motto is great vacations matter because great memories matter the most. And so we're here to help you enjoy the process of seeing the world, help you get the best advice and the best stateroom, best time of year to go, and provide as many extra bonuses as we can. Again, I'm Carol Shaddix with Imagine Going There Travel. We're your Viking cruise experts, and you can reach me at carol@imaginegoingthere.com or call me at 770-421-9627. We look forward to helping you with an amazing Viking vacation soon.